Part 2, Chapter 8. Men and Women Equality. Discover the big meaning of Adam. In Genesis 2, verse 7, who received the breath of life? Neshama. Does neshama play a role in men's and women's equality? What does Adam mean? Everybody knows the Bible indicates the creation of Adam as the first human being. How accurate is this affirmation? And what does this say about equality between men and women? We're in trouble if we just take the English version of "The Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life," neshama, and God became a living soul. It looks like man, man, man. Most Bible readers think this refers to Adam and naturally make the link that man refers to the male gender. Is that fact or an error? Maybe it's part of the problem of men's and women's equality. Let's get the ball rolling with the 4-step Bible study method to understand the God-given meaning of man. At the same time, we'll see who the recipient of the breath of life is and focus on God's point of view regarding men's and women's equality. At unlockbiblemeaning.com, let's find our verse. Genesis 2, verse 7. And the Lord God formed man, that's Strong's H120, formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man, again H120, and man became a living soul. We saw the breath of life is the neshama, the inspiration. So the man, H120, mentioned twice in this verse, receives this gift from God. Strong's H120, Adam, from H119, Adam, Radi, i.e., a human being, an individual or the species, mankind, etc. King James Version translations, another, hypocrite, common, common sort, low, man, mean, of low degree, and person. Use the Hebrew Concordance for H120 link. Move your mouse under previous 5, next 5, to locate all instances of man, H120, in the Old Testament, and see the word's usage in context. There are a lot of verses with man, H120. To help you out, focus on Numbers chapter 31. The 4 steps for biblical Hebrew word mastery are present. Identify them. The first step, one Hebrew word for multiple meanings for man. The second step, there are figurative or parallel meanings. What do you think of hypocrite, low degree, in comparison to dust? The third step, root meaning, associated with red. The goal is to tie all these meanings into one story. That's step 4. I want you to discover a rather surprising, complementary, some might say contradictory meaning of Adam, translated persons, in Numbers 31. After your study, read what follows. Here is a surprising meaning of man, H120. Numbers 31, verse 35. And 32,000 persons, H120, persons in all, of women that had not known man, H2145, that had not known man by lying with him. The persons, H120, Adam, refers to women. Person in this context refers solely to the 32,000 women who had not had intercourse with any man. As an aside, the Hebrew for man is H2145. Look it up. It is male, again showing the limits of translations. This verse in Numbers is clearly referring to sexual relations, or rather their absence, between women and males. What I want you to retain from this more complete comprehension of Adam is we know the first human created was Adam, a male. But the Adam in Genesis 2 verse 7 includes the meaning human and person. This means all humans, regardless of their gender, who they are, where they live, their culture, or anything else that characterizes them, receive neshama, the breath of life. The Bible, at the moment of creation of the first human, establishes men's and women's equality without a doubt. Genesis 1 verse 26, in the image of God he created them male and female, reinforces men's and women's equality. I am spending a little time on this subject because some readers and Bible advocates or detractors of both the Old and New Testaments contest men's and women's equality in the Bible. And I agree. There are all sorts of verses that seem to indicate their inequality. Emphasis on the word seem. I can only touch on this broad subject here. There are vast differences between the abilities, capacities, responsibilities, and obligations of males and females. Similarly, all men and no two women are alike. Each of us is a unique human finding and adjusting his or her place in society and life. This is an exciting subject. How and why does such diversity exist? We will go deep to answer these questions, but not today. For now, bear in mind one biblical fact. Each and every human, past, present, future, possessed, possesses, and will possess the breath of life, neshama. In this, men's and women's equality is the biblical reality. Let's be even more precise. Infants possess neshama. Even a baby that lives, unfortunately, for a few seconds possessed neshama. It had the breath of life for an instant, making it equal to all other humans. Sadly, some are born with mental deficiencies or, through life, fall into mental incapacities. They too carry neshama. Regrettably, some, through old age, develop Alzheimer's or some similar impairment. They too are endowed with neshama. No matter their state, every living human being is animated with the breath of life, neshama. When we understand what neshama is and the role it plays for humankind, it is one of the most comforting comprehensions any of us can have regarding the sick, refugees, the troubled, tormented, harassed, mistreated people in the world, and there are many of them. They all benefit from men's and women's equality. But know that the breath of life, in biblical Hebrew in Genesis 2:7, is not singular. It is breath of lives, nishmat chayim. The key here is that the Bible establishes men's and women's equality right from the start, at the moment of creation. All sorts of events happen to men and women later in the Bible story. Yes, God is responsible for some of them, like Numbers 31, verse 35. This is another vital subject elaborated in Origin of Woman, Agony of Humankind and the Antidote, and Evidence for Bible Wisdom. Through the possession of neshama by all humans, men's and women's equality is a fundamental biblical truth that, unfortunately, many are unaware of. Do animals possess neshama? No. Let's answer this question unequivocally from the Bible, and then we will see the consequences for our understanding of the relationship between animals and humans. The following context in the book of Joshua enlightens us. Joshua chapter 10 verse 40 and chapter 11 verses 11 and 14. So Joshua smote all the country of the hills and of the south and of the vale and of the springs and all their kings. He left none remaining, but utterly destroyed all that breathed. H 5397, neshama. But utterly destroyed all that breathed, as the Lord God of Israel commanded. Chapter 11, verse 11. And they smote all the souls, that's Strong's H5315, nephesh. They smote all the souls that were therein with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying them. There was not any left to breathe. H5397, neshama. There was not any left to breathe, and he burnt Hatzor with fire. And all the spoil of these cities, and the cattle, the children of Israel took for a prey to themselves. But every man they smote with the edge of the sword, until they had destroyed them, neither left they any to breathe. H 5397, neshama. As you reflect on these passages, keep in mind Joshua 10, verse 40. God commanded those crossing the Jordan to destroy all that breathed, that is, those with neshama. Reading this in English, we limit ourselves to physical breathing, which humans and animals display. But in the last episode, we saw neshama also carries the figurative or abstract meanings of inspiration and spirit. In this episode, as the children of Israel entered the promised land, they utterly destroyed all the nephesh, all the souls with neshama, that breathe, as translated here, but it includes inspiration. However, they took the cattle, which also breathe, for prey. Since they destroyed all things with neshama, and kept the cattle alive, then cattle do not possess neshama. We will expand on this subject, but you've just learned a critical Bible concept. All humans possess neshama. That's men's and women's equality. However, animals do not possess neshama. Vital knowledge, which totally differentiates humans from animals and explains the impassable chasm separating them. Do you realize the impact of this Bible comprehension on sciences like social behavior, which studies animals to see why humans act the way we do? Do you see that saying chimps and humans share 98.8% of their physical DNA completely omits the fact that chimps do not possess neshama, but humans do? By understanding the full meaning of the biblical Hebrew word Adam, we see men's and women's equality because all humans are endowed with neshama. By the same token, we see that animals, with all their exceptional qualities, which we will discuss, do not possess neshama. This sets all humans completely apart as an exclusive race. The Bible is the story of unique humankind.